It was a Tuesday night, the kind of night that feels like it's been going on for a week. The house was finally quiet, a rare and precious silence. My daughter Lily was asleep, her soft breaths filling her small room. I was sitting at the kitchen table, the dim light casting long shadows. My head was in my hands, a familiar position these days, being a single dad. It's a marathon you run every single day, but on nights like this, it feels like a sprint with no finish line in sight. The day had been a blur of spilled juice, a scraped knee at the park, a last-minute school project involving far too much glitter, and a work deadline that was breathing down my neck. I felt stretched thin like an old rubber band about to snap. I was exhausted, not just physically, but emotionally. The weight of doing it all alone, of being the sole provider, protector, and comforter was crushing me. I picked up my phone, my thumb hovering over my sister's contact. Sarah was my rock, the one person I could vent to without judgment. My fingers flew across the screen, a torrent of frustration, fear, and sheer exhaustion pouring out. I wrote about how I missed my wife, how some days the grief was a fresh wound. I confessed how I felt like I was failing Lily, how I was terrified of messing up this one, most important thing in my life. I typed, "I don't know how much longer I can do this, Sarah. I feel like I'm drowning." My thumb hit send before I could second-guess myself. A wave of relief washed over me, a tiny release of the immense pressure I was under. I put the phone down and started cleaning the kitchen, the mindless task a welcome distraction. A few minutes later, my phone buzzed. I smiled, expecting a supportive message from Sarah, but when I looked at the screen, my heart sank. The message wasn't from her. It was from an unknown number. "I think you have the wrong person," it read. "But if you need to talk, I'm here to listen." My face burned with embarrassment. I had just poured out my deepest insecurities to a complete stranger. My first instinct was to apologize profusely and block the number, to pretend it never happened. But something stopped me. The message wasn't dismissive or weirded out. It was kind. Simple, direct, and kind. I stared at those words. "I'm here to listen." Taking a leap of faith I didn't know I had in me, I typed back, "I'm so sorry. That was meant for my sister. You can just delete it." A moment later, a reply came through. "No need to be sorry. It sounds like you're going through a lot. Being a parent is tough. I get it." I hesitated. Who was this person? Why were they being so understanding? Against my better judgment, my fingers started moving again. "You have no idea," I typed. And just like that, the floodgates opened again. This time, however, it was different. I was talking to a stranger, someone with no preconceived notions about me, my past, or my life. There was a strange freedom in that anonymity. I learned her name was Emily. She was a night shift nurse, often working long, quiet hours with moments of downtime. She told me my message had arrived during her break. We talked for what felt like hours, though it was probably only 30 minutes. I told her about Lily, about how she had her mother's eyes and my stubborn streak. I talked about the constant juggling act, the loneliness that creeps in after my daughter goes to sleep. Emily didn't offer solutions or platitudes. She just listened. She asked questions. She shared a little about her own life, the challenges of her demanding job, the funny things her patients said. It was a simple, human connection. It was a lifeline. When our conversation ended, she said, "For what it's worth, you don't sound like a failure. You sound like a dad who loves his daughter more than anything. It's all she needs." I went to bed that night feeling lighter than I had in months. It wasn't that my problems had disappeared. The bills were still there, my deadline was still looming, and I was still a grieving widower raising a child alone. But I wasn't carrying it all by myself anymore. A crack of light had broken through the darkness. Over the next few weeks, Emily and I kept talking. Our late-night text exchanges became a new routine. We talked about everything and nothing, our favorite movies, bad days at work, funny stories about Lily. She told me about her dream of opening a small bookstore cafe one day. I told her about my passion for woodworking, a hobby I hadn't touched since my wife passed away. She encouraged me to pick it up again. "Lily would love to see you build something," she texted one night. "You need something that's just for you." She was right. The following weekend, I dusted off my old tools in the garage. With Lily helping by handing me screws and drawing chalk pictures on the floor, I started building a small bookshelf for her room. As I worked the wood, sanding and staining, I felt a part of my old self returning. A part that wasn't just dad or widower, but just me. Our connection grew beyond text messages. We moved to phone calls. Hearing her voice was as comforting as her words. Her laugh was warm and genuine. Talking to her felt like coming home. I found myself thinking about her during the day, smiling at a funny text she sent. Lily even started asking, "Are you talking to your friend Emily again, Daddy?" The idea of meeting her was both thrilling and terrifying. What if the reality didn't live up to the connection we'd built through a screen? What if we had nothing to say in person? I was afraid of losing this precious thing we had. It was Emily who brought it up first. So her text read, "One day, I have a day off this Saturday. There's a park with a great coffee stand near me. Any chance a certain dad and his daughter might want to make a new friend?" My heart hammered in my chest. This was it. I took a deep breath and typed back, "We'd love that." That Saturday was sunny and crisp. A perfect autumn day. I was so nervous, I think I changed my shirt 3 times. Lily was just excited for a trip to a new park. As we walked towards the designated meeting spot, a big oak tree by the pond, I saw her. She was sitting on a bench, a book in her lap, looking exactly like her profile picture, but even more beautiful in person. She looked up as we approached, and a smile spread across her face. It was the same smile I had imagined 100 times. "Mark?" she asked, her voice just as warm as it was over the phone. "Emily," I said, a grin stretching my own face. "This is my little helper." Lily, never shy, immediately ran up to her and asked, "Are you Daddy's phone friend?" Emily laughed, a beautiful musical sound. "I am. It's so nice to finally meet you, Lily. That afternoon was perfect. It was easy. We drank coffee while Lily chased ducks. We talked and laughed as if we'd known each other for years, which in a way we had. There were no awkward silences, no sense of disappointment. The connection was real. Seeing her interact with Lily, listening to her stories with genuine interest, I felt something shift inside me. A feeling I thought was gone forever. Hope. That day in the park was the start of our new chapter. Emily became a regular part of our lives. She came to Lily's soccer games. We spent Sundays exploring farmers' markets. She even helped me finish that bookshelf, her steady hand much better at painting than mine. She brought laughter and light back into our little house, never tried to replace Lily's mom. Instead, she helped us find ways to remember her, to talk about her. She created a space for our grief and our joy to coexist. One evening, as we were looking at old photos, Lily pointed to a picture of my wife and said, "Mommy would have liked you, Emily." In that moment, tears filled my eyes, and Emily just held my hand. Life is still a marathon. There are still tough days. But now, I'm not running it alone. I have a partner, a co-captain, someone to share the burdens and, more importantly, to share the joys. It's that one wrong number. That one moment of vulnerability on a dark Tuesday night didn't just lead me to a new person. It led me back to myself. It showed me that even when you feel like you're drowning, a single text, a single act of kindness from a stranger can be the lifeline that pulls you back to shore. It changed everything. For that, I will be forever grateful. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please give it a like and consider subscribing for more. See you next time.